Alright, so today we're gonna talk about how having briefings before the flight will help everyone inside the airplane to have a better understanding of what situational awareness is, as well to create this 3D mental scheme of the flight that we talked about last time. I'm talking about the pilots, the flight crew, and even the passengers as well, and which are 3 different type of briefings that we should be using for preparing ourselves for the critical phases of the flight. Hi, my name is Jorge Muñoz. I'm a senior instructor pilot working in El Salvador, and you will find the timestamps linked in the description of this video and on a pinned comment down below as always, in case you want to check out something in particular. Look, I think that we all know what a briefing is, but just to cover up all our bases, a briefing is when we scope or break down what we are about to do next, so we can have a good mental image, / mental scheme or / mental map of some sort before we do the thing that we are intending to do. So in other words, we kind of study or rehearsal what we are about to do, so we can get a general idea before going all in. Basically, whenever you are preparing yourself and your mind for doing something that is going to happen or that could happen, you are doing a briefing. And briefing is an essential tool for us pilots to maintain our own and all the other souls inside the airplane situational awareness. Every pilot should do a detailed briefing for him or herself, if alone, or a briefing between each other if there is more than one pilot inside the cockpit, even before getting on the airplane, to be able to have the best and widest possible mental scheme of everything that is going to happen during the flight. Doing a good briefing will prepare everyone inside the airplane for the critical phases of the flight, such as the takeoff briefing, before landing briefing, and also we cannot forget the passengers briefing, which, by the way, we pilots are required by law to show to our lovely passengers. Actually, the regulation only says that we must brief how the seat belts and harnesses work. You know how to fasten and unfasten them. But if you want to go deeper than that into the passengers briefing and you want to make sure that your passengers know all they need to know before takeoff, you can use the mental acronym S.A.F.E.T.Y, which we will be breaking down in just a moment. This safety checklist will help your passengers to have a fairly good understanding of how the airplane works. Of course, inside the scheme of what they need to know about the airplane, what they can and can't do, what they have at their disposal if an emergency shall appear. It will help them to have this mental image of what is about to happen during the flight. If you want to understand better what I mean when I talk about these mental maps and images we should have during the flight, then I suggest you to click the video on the right of your screen right now or also in the description below. Now let's start with the safety checklist for the passengers briefing. The S stands for safety belts. Just to cover our bases and the regulations, the bare minimum of what we have to do, as I said before, teach them how to fasten and unfasten their seat belts and harnesses, and when they should have these safety belts fastened. This part of the checklist must be completed before the airplane even starts moving on the ground. The next one, the A from the safety acronym, stands for air vents. This just means that you should show them where the air vents are inside the airplane so they can open and close them as they want. And if you're feeling fancy, then you can also show them how to use the heating and air conditioning of said air vents. Next one, we have the F, standing for fire extinguisher. First things first. I sincerely hope that you, as a pilot, know where this is located inside your airplane or the airplane you are flying. So you should also show your passengers its location, followed by a quick explanation of how it works. You know, just in case an emergency takes place and you are too busy doing something else trying to save everyone's life. Let your passengers help. Remember, they are not useless. By now we are halfway through this checklist. So Before we continue, let me tell you that if you want to become an outstanding private pilot, if you are curious and you want to prepare yourself in the best possible way for all the tests to come, or even if you are an advanced private pilot that wants to remember and perfect the basis and the knowledge of the VFR world, or you want to start your private pilot training with a heads up over the others, then I highly recommend you should check out my book Essential Knowledge for Private Pilot. You will find the link of the book in the description below this video and also in a pinned comment down below. It is an Amazon Kindle exclusive. This book uses the two most effective study techniques in the whole world, which are active recall and spaced repetition, and it applies them into aviation. So if that sounds good to you, then please go check out the book in the description below the video. The book is available in English as well in Spanish. Remember, you shouldn't be studying hard, you should be studying effectively, and with this book you can do just that. Studying all the knowledge inside this book will also help you to improve your situational awareness by helping you create these mental schemes of how your airplane works in regard with aerodynamics. But continuing with the video, the E stands for Egress and Emergency. This is a very important point of the checklist because it shows your passengers what to do, or at least where the stuff is inside the airplane during an out of the normal operation, such as an emergency. Be sure to show your passengers where the door or doors are inside the airplane and how to close them and open them properly. Do the same for the windows if you have. Also, don't forget to show them where the survival and emergency kit is located. Again, your passengers are not useless. Let them help if you feel like you can't do everything inside the airplane. On the fifth place, we have the T, standing for traffic and talking. Once again, show your passengers that everyone inside the airplane can have something to offer for the safety of the flight. In this case, they can help you in two different ways. One is by watching out for traffic, i.e. other airplanes nearby, because again, sometimes we, the pilots, have a lot to focus on at the same time, and a little hand that helps us spot the traffic will be very much appreciated. And the other way they can help is by remain silent and stay put. Remember, as some character from some animated movie that I can't remember right now said, remaining put it's not the same as doing nothing, or something along those lines. What I mean by this is that don't be afraid to tell your passengers to stay quiet, or at least to avoid unnecessary conversations, i.e. what you're going to do when you get off the plane, during critical phases of the flight, i.e. the takeoff and landing and moments as such. During these critical moments, we need to be extra aware of everything, including communication with control tower, and just by not being something that we also have to take care of, the passengers are helping us a lot. Also, if you have headsets for everyone, make sure that everyone knows how to use them properly. Headsets makes much easier the communication between everyone inside the airplane. And finally, we have the Y, which stands for your own questions. The passengers' questions. Remember that this checklist has covered up until this point the general things that we might need to create this 3D mental image. But every mind thinks different things and have a different point of view from the world and from the flight. So someone might still have a couple questions of something that we might have not mentioned during this checklist, and his or her mind maybe are still wondering a lot about it, or maybe they didn't understood something about what we have just said, even though we explained it really clear. So just make sure to ask for questions and that nobody has doubts about anything that is going to happen during the flight. Oh, and by the way, it is recommended that you complete this passenger's briefing before even starting the engine, when everyone is just sitting there inside the airplane. Since it is fairly long, and could interfere with other things that you may have to do when the engine has already started. And we don't want you to get distracted by that point. Alright, so we just finished with the passenger's briefing, and if you found this video interesting, then you should check out this video over here. It is about the other checklist that we didn't talk about in this video. Or maybe this video over here, which talks about the general concept of situational awareness. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, like, comment, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye bye.